Y'all in here talking about Lil No Sex and Tony Cox? I love Lil No Sex and Tony Cox. Cox Pro. I haven't thought the joke through that far. Hello, everybody. Coming right out of the gate on that one. Wait, is my background music not on? No, my background music is on. I'm just not. It's not feeding to my headphones for some reason. Okay, well that's interesting. Hello Trace and Wowie and let's see, Sanders is in the chat, and the great Pagliacci himself. Pagliacci the clown, I guess, is a he, but I don't know the great Pagliacci, the YouTube comment box sensations gender. So I'm just gonna stay with themselves for right now. I heard about that Tony Hawk skateboard thing. I don't think, is Lil Nas X actually mad about that? Because I saw him, I saw a tweet that he popped out, and it seemed more jokey than actually mad, especially since, people have been doing, blood-infused stuff in, the rock scene and shit for, forever. I think he was just bringing it, back around to the Satan shoe, since his was, the most recent. I'm looking it up right now. Now that Tony Hawk has released skateboards with his blood painted on them and there was no public outrage, are y'all ready to admit y'all never actually upset over the blood in the shoes, and maybe you were mad for some other reason? Yeah, okay, so he's not. Is my camera just glitching out? On my end it's looking like it keeps doing weird glitchies. But yeah, okay, so he's not mad at Tony. He's just pointing out the hypocrisy and the lack of. Got it. That makes sense. I see you were drinking out of a sauce jar. Yeah, they're cheap cups. You finish your sauce, you got a brand new cup. It's the best. Tony Cox Pro Scorcher. I do really like the Tony Hawk games. Those are some of my all-time favorites. My camera is being silly, or Lil Nas X situation is silly, because my camera's just blinking on my end. It's weird. Your camera. Okay. I wonder if maybe it's. What if I switch over? Will it still be silly? Maybe it just had something to do with that scene layout. Wait, nope. I saw it going there. I don't know, but it seems to be the camera and not the internet, though. I wonder. Oh my god. If I unplugged it in the middle of stream and tried to plug it back in, would OBS be weird with me? That's the question. Let me get off of the Lil Nas X thing. Because I sometimes the camera just to be freezing, and I don't want to accidentally freeze the camera because I feel like that's probably worse for the quality of the stream. Camera, cut it out. I don't know. I guess we're gonna try to roll with it. If it becomes unbearable and y'all feel the need to leave because of it, I understand. Especially I don't know if would this is the camera's glitchiness bad enough that it could trigger an epileptic seizure? Because if that's the case, then I would definitely feel better trying to fix it just in case. I don't want to accidentally pull a Porygon, and hurt somebody by the fact that I'm having technical difficulties. Oh, Danny's here. He is wanted for many crimes across 86 nations. He burns people alive. Oh, I read Danny's first message, Tony Hawk Pro Scorcher. Mattie, what do you think about Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? I'm underwhelmed, personally. I understand the hype around it, but I feel like it's just shit that we've heard in leaks and people have been talking about for months and months and months, and so it's I don't know, doesn't come across as anything new. I'm still interested in the movie. I want to go back and rewatch all the Spider-Man movies. I never caught Spider-Man 2 or The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and it's been so long since I've watched really any of the others, with the exception of the first Raimi Spider-Man. I think we watched that in Discord a little while ago, but people were talking all over it. So, like, I do want to go back and revisit all of those now, now that I'm seeing this. I've recently been, like, kind of figuring out that I used to love Spider-Man a lot. Playing the PS4 game recently has kind of like reminded me of that love, and I started diving back into the animated show from the 90s and shit like that. And, like, I don't know, it's weird that, like, I don't feel like I've loved Spider-Man recently, and I don't know if that just has to do with, like, the MCU interpretation of the character or what. Like, I don't think that it's bad by any means. I think they're, like, decent movies and shit, but, like, it's now that I'm going back and, like, revisiting the old stuff that I remember, like, it's not hitting the same boxes, and maybe a lot of that's just nostalgia. I don't know, but that's my thoughts. See camera doing madness. May unleash the creatures in Pandora's box, but you may try. Mattie looks like he's doing some murder video to me and my family. Oh geez. As you said, that it started flickering very aggressively. Let's see. Begging you to watch Spectacular. I do wanna watch all of the Spider-Man cartoons and stuff. So I think I'm gonna try to unplug and replug the webcam, and we'll see how that goes. If anything bad happens, I'll just restart the stream. So y'all stay tuned. Hold on. Where's the cord for it? Oh god. Jesus frickin' finger licking good. Okay, sweet. So it has absolutely just frozen. As y'all can see, I need to get a new chair. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see if we can do this on the fly. Video capture device. Let me see if I can edit that real quick. Not transform. Properties. And then switch back over. Oh, there we go. Here I am. Sweet. Okay. Tight. We got it fixed, I think. Hopefully it doesn't, like, keep flickering, but I think we got it fixed. More hyped for Green Goblin. Yeah, I've always been more Green Goblin fan myself, but that's also, like, partially because I haven't watched Spider-Man 2, like I said. I feel like that was around the time that, like, my love affair with Spider-Man started to flicker. When did that movie come out? Not Spider-Man 2. 2004. Yeah, so I was, like, turning 13, and I was doing that thing that teenagers do where, like, they have to pretend that they're cool and don't care about things they used to care about a lot. Not to mention that, like, the first Spider-Man was, like, a huge hit for my family, and so my brothers were consistently watching the first one and just running it into the ground, and I was like, I'm Spider-Man fatigued. My chair has been well loved by Archer and Penny. Ain't that the fucking truth? They really dig this thing. Though, to be fair, I did find this at, like, a dumpster at my apartment, like, 3 years ago. I used to live in, like, student living and stuff, and they would throw away just, like, perfectly good furniture at the end of the year. And so I got this, and I got, like, a couple other cool things. I found a fucking Xbox 360. So, you know. Oh, Mercy Guyan's here. Hello. Master Sanders. Speaking of Spidey PS4, let's give an F to the rejected proposal Easter egg. Are you talking about the Spider Cop? Oh, I'm psyched for Gabi too, but Melina is the main attraction for me personally. That's fair. Of course, because I'm here we're having difficulties. It's my black cloud of bad luck. Nah, I think we got it working now. Oh yeah, also, this is the channel debut of the Kill the Farmers t-shirt. I feel like we should we should make these as Watchtower database merch and like give Creeper a cut of them if we do that. But like I gotta figure out a video that would be like suitable for the shirt. And I think the only answer is for me to just do like a "This is why I love critters" video. So that people understand that the Kill the Farmers is an obvious joke, but I'll have to think about it. The one good decision I made at like 11 to 12 was deciding that I was not going to avoid that phase as much as humanly possible and just like what I like. I wish I could have done that. Hell yeah, y'all are excited about the Kill the Farmer shirt. I need to see the bit where Alfred Molina does Fiddler on the roof while shooting Spider-Man 2. Yo, that is a good bit. I saw someone clip that into the trailer as A+ stuff. But I feel like that's enough. That's enough Spider-Man. We got the Spider-Mans all talked about. I think it's time to hop into the main attraction. The book. The book, that's the main attraction. I'm having like a brain fart. I was right before coming on. I was watching like some guy that was mad that Gonzo on Muppet Babies is confirmed non-binary, and so I was just thinking about that, and I was gonna say that's the main attraction and just go over to that instead. But that's not what the main attraction is. The main attraction's this book, not some silly mad 40-year-old on the internet. So yeah. For those of you who haven't been with us before, I feel like the chat's pretty much all familiar faces currently at this point. The premise of what we're doing essentially is we read the book, we take notes for timeline and will it canon stuff. And so I'll be switching windows back and forth doing that the whole time. I need to find my Spider-Man TKO shirt. Oh, it's not lost. I can see it from right here. It's right in my closet right over here. I wish that I had done what I had planned on doing and like edited the design and then made a one print shirt for it, because the fact that it says "come" on it makes it hard to wear out in public. But otherwise, it's a pretty daggone good shirt. Maybe I can take a Sharpie to it and just cover the "come" part, but I don't know. But the "fuck your hot dog addiction" on it, just beautiful. But yeah, so we're in chapter 7 of Justice League: A League of His Own. It is basically a Jon Jones story. We are not even a full year after Secret Origins, maybe a couple months after Injustice for All, and the Injustice Gang is back at it again with the white vans and the evil plans. And they're trying to steal... Could y'all not have a fire right now while I'm trying to read to people on the internet? Jesus Christ, how fucking inconsiderate. Only thinking of themselves when they set their apartment ablaze or whatever's going on. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? But yeah, so we have oh god, I don't even remember what it is they're trying to steal. They're trying to steal a device. They were trying to steal a device from it's the feds. If Fed stands for Fire Elimination Department, yes. But so essentially, they were trying to steal a device from some kind of lab, and then the Justice League was just like, hey, they were able to sneak in here before. We gotta take this thing back to the Watchtower. And the scientists are like, damn, you're right. Okay, here, have it. And now the Injustice Gang is trying to sneak into the Watchtower after, like, they set up an attack on Metropolis, and most of the League is down there, except Jean's still on the Watchtower. Oh my god, I almost knocked my water over. That would have been terrible. Oh wait, it's firefighters? Never mind, they're chill. Yeah, firefighters are alright. Not all of them though. Some of them are assholes. I used to work at McDonald's with a dude who moonlit as a firefighter, and he was a pretty cool guy. But like totally was like the kind of person that I would not hang out with outside of work. Firefighters are cool, but I know one and he instantly knows if somebody has been smoking weed. God, imagine going to being a firefighter at like a dispensary and all the weed got set on fire. That'd be a hell of a time. So yeah, Chapter 7. Jon Stewart had never seen such a dangerous mess of circling planes as he saw in the moonlit sky over Metropolis International. Then again, with all the city's power cut off, the airport's traffic controllers had no radar to tell them about incoming flights. That left the pilots of those planes on their own. The fortunate few that still had fuel left for airports in other cities. Oh, okay. That's a weird sentence. I thought they meant that they still had fuel left, but no. The few that had the fuel left for the airports in the other cities. There we go. Volunteers are the best, always sweet people, and they smoke with me too. Hell yeah, hell yeah. But the flights coming in from Europe and Latin America didn't have enough in their tanks to exercise that option. That put them in a bind. All that circling was making their fuel situation go from bad to worse, but their pilots were reluctant to attempt a landing, afraid that some other pilot might decide to do the same thing at the same time. Luckily, help had arrived. Not just the Green Lantern, but Superman as well. While their teammates had dispersed to address other problems in the darkened city, Jon and the Man of Steel had rocketed to the airport. Jon knew what to do too. After all, he had communicated with ships out in space. He could use the same tricks to communicate with these pilots. Picking a plane at random, he used his ring to create a series of huge green letters in front of it. They spelled out a message. Follow my light. Then, darting underneath the plane and matching its speed, Jon aimed his ring at the maze of tarmac below and sent out a wide, intense beam of green radiance. It was broad enough and bright enough for the pilot to see where he was going. Taking advantage of it, he extended his landing gear and began his descent. And just in time too. The Green Lantern could hear the sputter of the plane's engines as they dipped into the last of its fuel supplies. He stayed with the aircraft until it touched down on the runway. Then he ascended again to escort the next plane to safety. But before he got very far, he saw a sight that made his blood freeze in his veins. One of the other planes had gone into a dive and was plummeting towards the traffic control tower, which was still staffed with a full complement of employees. Oh shit. Oh shit. You know what's real weird reading this? Is that Batman The Adventures Continue just recently said like 9/11 happened, and this book is just like, Jon can stop planes from crashing, and yet he didn't. What I'm trying to say is 9/11 in the DCAU was an inside Jon. Mattie, have you been watching season 3 of Titans? I haven't watched today's episode yet. I haven't watched today's episode yet either, but I have been watching it, and so far, at least with the first 3 episodes, I'm a bit more impressed with this season than I am with previous seasons. The Blackfire episode's kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll like her more once she's like out of the jumpsuit and into the like Tamaranian garb and everything that the promo photos are showing. But otherwise, it's pretty chill so far. Wowie with the oh no. Pagliacci with the bat stare intensifies. that's like the one bad thing about like reading all of this stuff as like an interconnected universe, because like technically it's supposed to be like done that way, but like obviously there's just, with the amount of writers and stuff that's like from one thing to the next, there are things that like aren't gonna click until someone like me goes and experiences it all for the sake of YouTube comment and is like, hold on a second. Rose Wilson isn't with the Titans anymore. Oh, I forgot about her. Yeah, God. I when I watched Titan season 2, I was kind of like multitasking it because I wasn't sure if I would be interested, and so like as much as I did end up enjoying it, I forgot a lot of different things. I'll watch Titans properly eventually. I was just really put off by the first episode to the point where I couldn't even finish it. Yeah, the first season's not great. There's some good stuff, but it's not too good. Let's see. Where were we? John had no time to waste. Using the power of his ring at full throttle, he sped towards the helpless aircraft. It's going to be close, he told himself, and even if he did reach the plane in time, he was going to have a devil of a time pulling it out of its dive. Then, inexplicably, he saw the plane start to nose up. A fraction of a second before, it would have crashed into the tarmac. It leveled off somehow. And just as if it had never been in trouble in the first place, it made a perfect landing. John would have called it a miracle, except he was beginning to suspect that the plane had had some help. But it was only after the plane had rolled to a halt that John saw a red and blue streak emerge from under it and return to the moonlit heavens. He smiled to himself. Even a Green Lantern had to tip his hat to Superman. If that ain't the truth. Honestly, couldn't get past the first ep of season 3, just not my favorite interpretation. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, I do think the thing that's so interesting to me so far about season 3, shit, there went the camera again. I just saw it glitch. We might just have to deal with it. But the thing that's been interesting to me with season 3 so far is that in the first 3 episodes, it makes the whole fuck Batman thing from earlier on feel earned. It makes the edginess of Dick and Jason feel earned. It takes the grim dark Batman trope that we've been seeing a lot ever since at least the Dark Knight movies, probably even further back if you want to like think about like Frank Miller's Dark Knight and shit like that. But it takes that trope and it's starting to examine it in a way that's just like, but this isn't how Batman should act. Whereas a lot of those films or stories or whatever have just been like, yeah, but isn't it cool that Batman's sweet and edgy and brutal? And like, Titans is essentially telling us like, hey, we've seen so many versions of Batman that act like this, but we've never really seen them dive into what that means for the people that he surrounds himself with. And on that level alone, it feels like they're just deconstructing that trope and completely like repudiating, is that the word I'm looking for? They're saying that maybe this isn't what we refuse to accept or be associated with, deny the truth or validity of. Yeah, so that's close enough. But like they're basically just saying like, you know, this isn't what we should be having in Batman, like, because it affects the rest of this world, kind of situation. And so I appreciate them for, you know, having the what is it? Not the courage, but like the wherewithal, I suppose, to like analyze that further than most people have, and to basically say that like, hey DC, we've been making a lot of missteps with this character. Haven't watched season 3, probably is going to be released after it. Kachowdy. Hey, Amy, how's it going? Do you think the first episode, Doom Patrol's third season, will wrap up the whole Candlemaker thing? Probably. I need to rewatch. Doom Patrol season 2. I watched the first season so many times when it first came out because we were doing content on it and stuff, and then I only watched season 2 the one time because we weren't doing content on it because our whole story got kind of hold up there for a minute. But so yeah, I do need to watch that second season again. As soon as Bruce said he was leaving, I was like, good, you psycho. I didn't know Doom Patrol was still going. It is, and it's season 3 comes like next month, I think. Did you ever watch the Suicide Squad? Yes, loved it. It was a lot of fun. All-Star Batman and Robin take on it. Okay, back to the book. Or I guess, hold on, real quick. We did get a couple. Europe and Latin America were mentioned, so I will. Chapter 7. Europe and Latin. Oh my God, I hit the caps lock on accident. Latin America as locations. Row below 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right. Superman guided the plane down until it could land on its own. Then he soared back into the heavens to find yet another aircraft in need of his help. He didn't know how many more of them were up there, but he knew he had to work quickly. He was determined not to lose even a single life to Luthor's handiwork. What bothered him was that he didn't know why Luthor had sabotaged the city's power grid. It couldn't just have been out of spite. There had to be a reason. Just then, he heard a voice in his ear. Superman, this is Jean. Jean wasn't in the habit of calling just to say hello. Obviously, something important had come up. The Injustice Gang has invaded our headquarters, the Martian Manhunter continued. They are moving through it even as I speak. Superman's jaw clenched. The Injustice Gang? In the Watchtower? He saw now why Luthor had knocked out Metropolis's power, as a diversion to get the League to leave its headquarters undefended so the Injustice Gang could steal the Neutralizer. And it had worked. If Luthor got his hands on the Neutralizer, it would be disastrous, for the League especially. But the Man of Steel couldn't put the welfare of himself or his teammates before that of everyone in Metropolis. He wished he could go back and help Jean, but he couldn't. Thanks to Luthor, he had work to do. But don't worry, said Jean, as calm as ever. I've worked out a plan to stall Luthor and his team until you return. Oh shit! Yeah, he was gonna fucking start a play! We're gonna watch Jean do a play. Or something along those lines. It said last chapter he was inspired by the play that Wonder Woman took him to. So, we'll see how that goes. The Brotherhood of Evil is in season 3. Hell yeah. Next month is when? Yes. Good making dinner. Ooh, food do sound tasty right now. I just had a quesadilla though, so like maybe I should stop being so tied up with food. I figured it died with DC Universe. Nah, the only DC Universe original that seemed to have died was Swamp Thing, but everything else basically got moved over. Young Justice, Harley Quinn, Titan, Stargirl, Doom Patrol all got moved. Hey, Chris Anderson. A one Martian show. Exactly. Maybe they can shapeshift into like multiple Martians. And he ended the communication. The Kryptonian sighed. His Martian colleague was facing terrible odds, and yet he hadn't complained. He had made what he was facing sound like just another day at the office. But the Watchtower wasn't just any office, and the Injustice Gang was a little tougher than most competition. Superman vowed to get back to the Watchtower as soon as he possibly could. In the meantime, he just hoped Jean knew what he was doing. Still seated at the workstation in his quarters, Jean used the Watchtower's internal sensor network to track the spread of Luthor's team. He could see them as individual colored dots, each one following its own distinct path through the facility. Some were moving faster than others, of course, Copperhead being capable of covering a lot more ground than Grundy was. However, it appeared to Jean that each of his adversaries knew precisely where he or she was going. Obviously, Luther had learned something of the Watchtower from his previous visit and was using that information to good advantage. What was more, it made sense for them to split up. The Watchtower was a large facility, and they didn't have an infinite amount of time to conduct their search. Last time Luther's team invaded the Justice League headquarters, Jean had met them head-on in the shuttle bay and been given reason to regret it. This time, he had decided, he would handle the problem a little differently. Hey, Rodtropia, I don't know if you are in the stream, but if you are, thanks for subscribing. YouTube subscribers kind of just come in, whether they're in the stream or not. Hungry. Yeah, I feel that. Jean does a one Martian show with shadow puppetry and their shape-shifting. Does anyone know when the Injustice movie will be released? No, we don't have any information on that. Warner Bros. Likes to be kind of one movie at a time deal, and since Long Halloween Part 2 just came out, it'll probably be a little bit of a while before they like announce the release date of the next movie. Is Injustice the next movie though? I know we've got a couple movies that have been announced. I know Injustice, and I know that Catwoman movie just got announced that Greg Weisman's working on, and I think there was another one that I'm blanking on. Where was I? This time he decided he would handle the problem a little differently. He would wait until they were isolated from one another and deal with them one at a time, and he would do so in a way that would give them all reason for concern. Jean decided to begin his campaign with the most powerful member of the Injustice Gang, the mysterious woman known as Star Sapphire. As it happened, she was also the easiest to identify by virtue of her power energy signature. Apparently, she was headed for the League's trophy room, where Jean and his colleagues stored artifacts they had accumulated in their travels, some of them extremely valuable. It was a logical place for Star Sapphire to look for the neutralizer. It wasn't anywhere near the trophy room, of course, but the villainess had no way of knowing that. Catwoman... Yeah, hold on. Catwoman Hunted is the name of it. Open the article. Yeah, this is the first image that we've got. Voicing Catwoman is Elizabeth. Is it Gillies? I don't. While Batwoman will be played by Brooklyn Nine-Nine actress Stephanie Beatrice. Wait, is that Rosa? It is Rosa. Oh my God, Rosa's gonna be Batwoman. I'm down for that. Rosa's like the best part of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, especially in this recent season. This recent season's been kind of weird. Elizabeth. I don't think I know her from anything. She was in iParty. Oh my God, no, she was from Victorious. Okay. Well, shit. All right. The rest of the voice cast includes other notable performers, including Jonathan Banks as Black Mask, Steve Blum as Solomon Grundy, Lauren Cohen as Julia Pennyworth, Keith David as Tobias Whale, Zara Fazal as Talia al Ghul and Nosferatu, Jonathan Frakes as King Faraday and Boss Moxie, Kirby Howell-Baptiste as Barbara Minerva/Cheetah, Kelly Hu as Cheshire, Andrew Kishino as Mr. Yakuza and Domino 6, Eric Lopez as Domino 1, Jacqueline Obradors as Ladama, and Ron Wan, is it pronounced Wan or Ewan, as Dr. Zen. Jade West versus Rose Diaz. I'm so down for it. I'm behind on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but Rosa was like the best character alongside Terry and Captain Holt. Yeah, the new season's really weird because like it tries to tackle like the systemic problems with policing, and it means well, but like it's also framing it as like but it's just some bad apples. Like it's not all of the cops. It's and like it's. I feel like it would have been much more interesting had it like went and looked back through, because like there are some things that I've noticed like in this season where they're trying to be cognizant of it that I'm just like, if a cop did this in the real world, I would have a problem with it. And it would have been interesting had they gone back through like the first 8 or so seasons and like rewatched it and been like, these things that were done and played off as jokes probably would have had real world impact, that would have, you know, been cause for alarm, and we should bring that forward to, you know, explain how like it's all fallible. Like there's issues with the entirety of the thing that go past just the like the unions and the you know, stuff getting tied up in paperwork and all that kind of stuff. I would have appreciated that a lot more. Rosa, the first episode of the season, so it's like it's a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler. Rosa leaves the 9-9 because she specifically thinks that it's that you can't change it from within. But everybody else is still at the 9-9, and Rosa is still a consistent part of the show. So it's like, it doesn't even really matter that she's left, because she's still working with them as a private detective, doing her own thing. Oh boy, I'm really psyched for Keith David's Tobias Whale. That's just a perfect casting choice right there. Jake alone would make me want to shut the whole precinct down. Ain't that the truth? Like when Jake got someone deported just because he didn't like. Oh God, I forgot about that. But yeah, like it's. I hope that maybe as the season goes that they do end up doing that. But right now, it's kind of weird, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I will say. One thing, God, what's the little dude's name on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Yeah, Charles Boyle. Boyle, season 9. I like. Where is it? Boyle's doing like the whole like Uber lib thing of like trying to be like, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, to Terry and Captain Holt, and he showed up to work in like the Native African garb or whatever it's called. God, he did the whole. He showed up in like all of this shit to the precinct, like not just the scarf but the hat and everything. Kinte, that's it. Let me see if. God, why is it on caps lock? Charles Boyle. And like, I appreciate that they're framing him as like just a complete idiot, and that the, you know, all of that stuff is just so dumb. But like, I don't know, like there's just like some stuff with it that's just not jiving well. It's like, especially like having been part of the protests and everything last year, it's a weird look into it. Rosa leaves. Yes, Rosa leaves, but is still part of the the main cast. This, like, the second episode of the series, she gets incredibly high on edibles and just hangs out with God, what the fuck are the old guys? One of the old guys has left and is like retired and living in Miami or some shit like that, but he's always on video call with the other one. And so Rosa is just like high on edibles, hanging out with the one that's still there. doing potato chip taste testing. There's a lot of fun stuff in it, but like just it's politically muddled right now, in my opinion. I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's fair. Boyle was always one of my least favorite main cast characters. Yeah, I mean, Boyle's always been, in my opinion, framed as being a fucking idiot, though. So, like, him being the one that I dislike, I feel like is intentional on the part of the show. That feels like a misunderstanding of Boyle's character. Seems like something Hitchcock and Scully would do. Yeah, I think it's Hitchcock is still... No, Hitchcock leaves. Scully is still with the precinct. Hitchcock retired. Oh shit! Yeah, watch The Good Place. It's fantastic. It's God, that show made me cry. Where were we? I think at the top of the page. Rendering himself immaterial, Jean descended a couple of levels and entered the wall of the trophy room. Then he breached it with his face ever so slightly, just enough to allow himself to see out of it. Star Sapphire hadn't yet entered the room. The League's trophies, ranging from a bust of the demon Etrigan to a replica of Aquaman's exquisite Atlantean scepter, were the room's only occupants. Just then, Jean saw the trophy room's door start to slide open, revealing a fierce purple glow in the corridor beyond. Star Sapphire, he thought. The glow came from the gemstone that the villainess wore on her masked forehead. Jean didn't have any idea how the gem worked, but it made Star Sapphire as powerful as any adversary he had ever faced. He had even seen her do damage to Superman. If she could bring down the Man of Steel, Jean didn't expect to fare very well against her, but he could think of one teammate who might. Withdrawing his face into the concealment offered by the wall, he waited a second for Star Sapphire to go by. Oh my god, he's gonna pretend to be different members of the Justice League. And then he stepped out where she would notice him, but he didn't look like the being called the Martian Manhunter. Not anymore. Now he looked like the Scarlet and Gold Flash, the product of a weird 1-in-a-million interaction between a rack of chemicals and a midsummer lightning bolt. Catching sight of him, Star Sapphire whirled in midair. "You!" she exclaimed. "That's not my British lady voice. I thought you were in Metropolis." Jean didn't have any trouble recreating the Flash's devil-may-care grin. The speedster's speech pattern was a little more difficult. "Do I look like I'm in Metropolis? Or do I look like I'm here in the ever-loving Flash?" "What you look like," she said, "is a man who's about to be pulverized by a very high-intensity energy beam." The words were barely out of her mouth before she tried to spear Jean with a shaft of violent fury. But he was ready for it. In fact, he had been hoping Star Sapphire would use her gem on him, because it would give him a chance to further convince her that she was dealing with the super-fast Flash. Almost a quarter of a second before the beam reached him, Jean went immaterial and dropped through the floor, but his adversary couldn't see that. All she could see was that her energy assault had missed its target and struck the wall behind him instead. Moving quickly, Jean dipped underneath the thick metal floor and rose through it on the other side of the room. Then, still simulating the Flash's appearance, he became solid again, creating the illusion that he had actually run there faster than the eye could follow. Okay, really quick, we got mention of Etrigan and Aquaman. Etrigan mentioned. Aquaman mentioned. Let's see, what was it? A bust of the demon Etrigan. Etrigan bust and Aquaman scepter replica. And I'm gonna put that in other clues as well. And Aquaman scepter replica were the only items in the trophy room. And Flash's origin is said to occur in midsummer. Never seen it, just listen to everyone talk about it. Oh, Good Place, watch it. It's so good. It's so good. It's fantastic. Scully is great. Hitchcock is cringe. Yeah, I can vibe with that. One YouTuber I watched said Tim Drake coming out as bi is a poor life choice, but it's not that it made me question that YouTuber who I thought was kind. It sucks. Man, that's a rough. I don't know why anyone would say that. That's a bummer. Like, I mean, I know why someone would say that, and it's homophobia, essentially. Like, I can understand if someone like thinks that it's a poor writing choice for like ABC reason or whatever, but like framing it as a poor life choice is kind of fucked up. OMG. I assume that's about Jean turning into the Flash. Jean is literally the most powerful JL member. What is this? True. The Good Place and Community are the two main sitcoms I'm curious about checking out the most, but I have way too much stuff to get through. I really enjoyed Community as I was watching it, but like when those last seasons came out, it had been so long since I had watched it that I had completely forgotten what was going on and just was not attached to them at all. But I also have a feeling that a lot of it probably didn't age too well. If I remember correctly, like it's specifically like a Dan Harmon production, and yeah, Dan Harmon went on to do like Rick and Morty and shit like that. So like imagine that kind of humor, but coming out in between 2009 to 2015. Just feels like there's probably some cringe stuff in there. Jean humbles himself too much. True. Good Place is the best sitcom. Also true. Hey, Crazy Duplicate, how's it going? Queen of Sodor, cops are cringe. Also true. Damn, fuck that YouTuber. Yes, absolutely. Tim being bi totally meshes with his character, I feel. Yeah, like I don't know a lot about Tim inside of the comics, but like from the stuff that I have seen, it seems as though like there's been hints there, or it's been like there's, whether intentional or not, like there's just been a lot of stuff that it's just like, oh, kind of makes you think that maybe it could go that way. And like a lot of people like maybe didn't pick up on that and feel like it came out of left field. And like that's fine if you didn't pick up on it and feel like it came out of left field. But doing this whole like it's bad for this to be the thing and it's a poor life choice and this, that, and the other, it's just like, man, get over yourself. Like I had to ban someone from the Discord the other day because like they were saying turning like Tim coming out as bi ruins the character, and it's just like, no, being bi does not ruin a character. That's not, no, get out of here. Like you're just being mean for no reason, and like I don't want to deal with that. Doing fine, just woke up. Hell yeah. I wish I just woke up. I need a little bit extra sleep. Sissy and I both woke up randomly at like 3:30 in the morning, and it's just like, Mattie, what do you think about the MCU finally getting the Sinister Six? I called it. If Sinister Six is actually what they're doing, I called it. Whenever the Kraven movie got announced a little while ago, I was just like, damn, they're gonna try to like use No Way Home to set up Sinister Six. Sony's always wanted to do Sinister Six. I don't know. I'm not as attached to like MCU Spider-Man as I am to other versions of Spider-Man. So like for me it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Another MCU thing that's happening, personally. Chat being surprisingly based today. I'm impressed. My headcanon for Tim was always hetero-romantic, asexual, but I'm not really bothered by him being bisexual. Hell yeah, hell yeah. F to Dark Penguin. Tim is young, so much time to discover yourself. True that. No F for Dark Penguin. That day I was like, really, people are worthy just for existing and being bi, gay, etc. Is a realization it's not just random, and it's a full part of you on the inside, not your full identity. Yeah, for sure. God, there's a rumor going around right now that they might be writing John Kent to be queer, and shittily enough, that rumor was started by Ethan Van Sciver. And I kind of called him out yesterday, and he name searches all the fucking time and like retweeted me and like tried to dogpile me by saying he agrees with me that it's good for. I mean, my tweet said, even if Ethan's right, like, queer Superman would be dope as fuck. Ethan doing his I'm right thing right now is just a weird ego stroke thing, and LGBT people are cool and good. And he retweeted me being like, ha 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 ha, we agree. And I'm just like, okay, why are you trying to send a dog pile my way if we agree? And like, people just start commenting on it, and I'm just like, nah, it's all good. Me and your Comicsgate daddy agree. He's a fucking weirdo, and gay Superman's cool. So like, get out of here. And, like, just the weirdest way to try to do a dog pile. Why even name search if you're gonna be like doing that? Dude's just so fucking silly. And it's so funny because like I 100% tweeted that out expecting him to name search, because he had name searched and like was jumping on the case of another content creator friend of mine who like has a much smaller audience than we do, and like she had to lock down her profile and everything because of the hate she was given or getting from it. And like, I was just like, all right, let me take the heat off her for a second. Like, dude's name searching, fucking let's go. And he proved me right. He's just a sad guy who has like nothing better to do with his time than name search. And that's why his fucking Cyber Frog comic is never gonna like get to where it needs to be. Dude's been fleecing people on that IP for years. Oh, hey. I heard they'll make him gay, which is good. We need more gay characters. Yeah, and like so many people are just being like, it's lazy to make him gay. He's never been gay before or whatever. And it's just like, John Kent's been a fucking child for the majority of his like run as a comics character. He's been like fucking 10 or younger for the majority of his comics run. Like, I was there like reading the arc as it came out where they aged him up and shit, and we're just like, oh yeah, he got, you know, sent to a different universe and was like fucking aged up and shit. Like, that was like 2019 that he's finally like a teenager and shit. Like, you're not gonna fucking do like, I have an 8-year-old 10-year-old fucking gay child. It's a lot less likely to happen in pre-puberty fucking stories. Like, why would they do that? Like, there wasn't a like straight John arc either. Like, why are y'all mad? People are just so fucking ridiculous. Bro, you torrent. It's so funny. The whole thing, like, dude's just such a fucking sad sap. How egotistical do you need to be in order to Google your own name on it? And it's not even just on a daily basis. He was doing it multiple times on the same day. Like, sometimes I'll look up the Watchtower database name on Twitter, because like, there are people who like fucking post about us and don't realize we have a Twitter, and so like they don't tag us or whatever, and I just like want to like retweet and be like, hey, here we are, and like, thanks for sharing our thing to your people or whatever. But like, he just fucking like keeps looking himself up multiple times a day just to try to start fights and be like, I'm not angry. And it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, the dude is just so sad. And people fall for his shit. It's just ridiculous. Mattie, what do you think about What If? Last night's episode made me cry. It was beautiful. I loved it. The whole series so far has been a lot of fun, and it gets better every single week. Last episode, like last night, I was literally on the edge of my seat, and like I cried about that shit. Like, I talk about, I know we've got a whole book and everything that we're reading and shit, and we're not even through the first chapter yet, but like, I'm having fun talking, so whatever. But like, I've talked about this on like the 12th Level Intellects podcast a couple of times, and probably in a few other spaces. So like, maybe it's a known thing, maybe it's not. But the MCU like legitimately saved my life. Back in like 2009, I think it was. I was touring colleges. And like, we were at this one college where like I was scared for my safety the entire time that I was there, because the people that I was bunking with had made multiple threats of like sexually assaulting me while I was there and shit, and like just the entire fucking weekend was a miserable experience. And then we get to, they have a movie night out on the lawn, and they're playing Iron Man. And that was like the one fucking good spot of the entire trip. Was like, I got to sit there with my dad and watch Iron Man. And the credits start rolling, and somebody's just like, we start getting up because like, yeah, you know, it's time to head back and start getting to sleep and everything. It's a late night, all that kind of shit. And like, someone just like grabs my shoulder and is like, no, hold on a second, you gotta wait. There's something like that's coming up, and you gotta see it. And I don't even know who the guy was. I was just like, all right. If there's something that's after the credits, I'm down to stick around for like 10 more minutes, sure. And like, the fucking, the Nick Fury Avengers initiative and all that shit, just like, boom. Instantly, I was just like, oh fuck, no, we're going to get this? Because like, before Avengers, we didn't have superhero team-up movies. We had like so many different fucking just like solo superhero franchises and nothing else. And so like, this was just like, oh my god, they are finally going to do it. Fast forward a few years, and I'm in a really rough spot where I'd been living with an abusive roommate, and just got out of that to start living with a different roommate who ends up like fucking dipping out of nowhere, and leaving me to fend for myself for a while. And like, this, that, and the other happens. I'm in just like a really miserable spot in my life, and I have to end up moving back in with my mom, and like, you know, not being around any of my friends. Like, my entire social circle gone. My you know, going to college gone. Just you know, not a great time for me. And like, I was going through a lot of depression and fucking like, you know, one of the many times in my life I was battling suicidal thoughts and shit. And the Avengers movie being so close to coming out was like one of the things that kept me going. It was just like, no, I've been anticipating this for years now. Like, I can't just fucking like give up now and not deal with it. Then like, before I end up getting to see this, like, I've got to stick around. And then I did. And like, around that time as well, like my brother and I started making music together and shit. And I was able to like socialize a bit more through there, and stuff started getting, you know, better progressively and everything. But like, had that Avengers movie not been there at that time to like, you know, keep me motivated, I probably wouldn't be here today. And like I get like the complaints people have about like fucking, you know, MCU shills and shit like that these days. Like, I don't feel like as many people have such a personal connection to the franchise as I do. But like, you know, those of us who are in our fucking like 30s and shit, who like lived through watching it like as it happened, like there's a lot of special shit there that like, regardless of like where it is now and how it's just like fucking like cool to dog on it, like it's an important franchise to me. But yeah, hold on, let me catch up with things real quick. But like, yeah, so going back to that, just last night's episode of What If, like, Nick Fury's big week was one of the first comic runs that I read in its entirety, which is, it's a pretty small run and everything, but like that was, you know, part of the build up for Avengers and all that stuff. So like, getting to see that episode twist that story and treat the MCU as a whole as if its history has always been set in stone, rather than being plot points that we've found out about, you know, years after each other with you know, I won't say specifically, but like bringing in stuff from Ant-Man and Captain Marvel to be like, yeah, that stuff was set in stone all the way back before Avengers even happened. Like, it was just a really special experience. Let's see. They get mad when they can't claim tokenization. I'm gay and that's not my full identity. It comes from the inside, and I hate when people... Oh. Chat keeps scrolling. I hate when people assume gay stereotypes that have nothing to do with my masculinity or femininity. I feel that. Ethan is gonna make it, why is it covering the message? Oh, I'm not trying to reply to messages, I'm trying to read the messages. Ethan is gonna make it seem like you think Coolsville sucks. Oh shit, hey Connor, how's it going? Hugs, thank you. The MCU feels like an actual dream come true. It's everything 12-year-old me hoped for watching the Iron Man trailer. Right, like it's surreal. Like, and so many people just like won't ever connect to it on that level because of like being born into a you know, a post MCU world, or like you know, MCU just having been a thing since they were like babies. Like, that thing's been going on for 13 years now. So it's like it just that's like a thing that like has been a big deal for me recently, is just like realizing how like being at different points in our lives and shit like affects how we interact with media and stuff like that. And it's a really interesting thing to think about. B-Test Revival has a great section where you talk about this stuff. Okay, yeah. I figured I put it in a video somewhere, but we put out so many videos that I forget about things. That sounds horrible. Yeah, it wasn't. It's strange. Like, that time in my life, and like, interestingly enough, like, I'm gonna fucking like pseudo quote Glenn Beck here, who's like a miserable human being, but like I turned him on while I was like driving around on tour dates with my band one weekend or whatever, and I was listening to him, and he was talking about how like we always look back on like those times where like we had to deal with great adversity and shit as some of the best days of our lives, because of the fact that like when the lows are that low, like anything that's not a low just feels like an incredible high. And like there are a lot of things that happened in that period of my life that I'm just like, damn, I would love to relive that, but like, yeah, there's I don't think that the baggage would be worth revisiting. People can rag on the MCU as much as they want, but I'm eternally grateful for it bringing the whole Marvel universe and heroes as a whole to the spotlight, even if it doesn't always match how I personally like it to be. Yeah, true that. Doing good. Glad I could catch the stream. Hell yeah, I'm glad that you're here. Not to subject change, but they just... Oh, sorry to bring up past trauma. Hey, it's fine. It's fine. I'm always very open with that kind of shit because, like, fucking... When I was dealing with it, like, I always felt, like, really alone from my perspective and shit like that. And so, like, I've always tried to be really open just because, like, if anybody else is going through anything, like, I don't want them to feel like, you know, that they're alone kind of situation. Like, I like, I don't know. Is trauma bonding really the word? Like, I'm not necessarily, like, bonding on, like, the aspect of, like, you know, telling y'all to just dump in the chat or anything, because, like, I'm one person and I can't be, like, an emotional labor pack mule or anything, but, like, I like being open about who I am and where I've been and where I am now and shit like that, just to, like, give the sense of, like, you know, you're not alone in the stuff that you're dealing with, you know, it does get better, essentially. Not to subject change, but they just announced Despero as a villain in the next season of The Flash. I assume for the Armageddon crossover, but I didn't check. I need to catch up on Arrowverse so badly. I'll never forget the B-Test revival because it was my first WDB video, and it was a really good way to get to know you guys. Hell yeah. We really did kind of go into our backgrounds in that video and shit. So yeah, like I guess it is a real quick explainer of who we are. But where was I? Jean was turning into Flash. We've been on for an hour and haven't even gotten through one chapter. I'm just talkative today. He was ready for it. Super fast Flash. Almost a quarter of a second before the beam reached him, Jean went immaterial. Moving quickly, Jean dipped underneath the metal floor and rose through it on the other side of the room. Okay, so we finished those pages. Star Sapphire's head snapped in his direction, and she muttered something out of frustration. After all, she thought she was dealing with an enemy who could move faster than her bludgeoning energy blasts. Little did she know how wrong she was, and the last thing Jean wanted to do was reveal the truth to her. I hope you kept the receipt for that, Sapphire, he quipped. I think it's defective. Do shut up, the villainess snarled. Then she shot another sizzling purple beam at him. But before it could slam Jean senseless, he plummeted through the floor again. And again, he came up elsewhere in the room, a good-natured smirk on his face. I hate to cut this short. Oh, shit. I thought that was Star Sapphire's voice. I hate to cut this short, he told Star Sapphire. But it's movie night here at the Watchtower, and Batman gets grumpy when I'm late. With a cry of rage, his opponent unleashed yet another blast in his direction. Avoiding it as he had the others, Jean stayed beneath the level of the floor this time. But with the power of his mind, he sensed Star Sapphire's presence above him. She stayed there for a moment or two, probably trying to figure out if the Flash was still anywhere near her. Then she spoke aloud, no doubt into a comlink similar to the kind used by the Justice League. Luthor, are you there? Jean could hear the Mastermind's response in Star Sapphire's mind. What is it? That's not a good Luthor voice. What is it? I can't be Clancy Brown. What is it? No, that's a Batman voice. That's closer to a Batman voice. This place isn't as empty as you said it would be. The Flash is still here. Jean felt a pang of accomplishment. His masquerade had been every bit as effective as he had hoped. Impossible! Said Luthor, his voice laced with disdain. He went down to Metropolis with the others! Did you see him go down? asked Star Sapphire. I mean, the Flash, specifically. Of course not, but why would he stay? When you see him, said Star Sapphire, you can ask him. I would have done it myself, but our encounter was a bit too brief. He just ran circles around me and then took off. There was a pause in the conversation. It seemed to Jean that Luthor was absorbing what he had heard, wrapping his mind around it. Keep looking for the neutralizer, he said at last, no longer quite so dismissive. I'll get back to you. You do that, said Star Sapphire. Then she started blasting away at the rooms built in titanium lockers, determined to examine their contents. If Jean had any doubts that Luthor was after the neutralizer, he had them no longer, but he couldn't linger there, not if he was going to succeed with his plan. For now, Luthor and his henchmen thought there was only one hero defending the watchtower, but if all went as Jean hoped it would, they would soon think there were 2 heroes, then 3, and then the entire Justice League. With that purpose before him, Jean cast his mind like a net over the watchtower, scanning it in search of another invader. Okay, chapter 8. Real quick. Why is it not letting me? We've literally been just talking in chat for an hour. We've been reading too, but yeah, it's been a lot of talking. Nothing wrong with talking. That's what the live streams are for. It's for us to you know, come together and chit chat. LMAO, not sure what I've missed, but this seems special. Oh, not much actually. We just finished the first chapter for the day. Essentially, we found out that Jean's idea of putting together a play is him pretending to be the Justice League members as the Injustice Gang is storming the Watchtower. Let's see. Star Sapphire snapped her neck. What movies does Batman like? Not a Wonderful Life. He could never get past the title. Just do Mr. Krabs for Luthor. I don't even know if I can do a Mr. Krabs. I could try. Hey, me boys, me just want some money! That's a terrible Mr. Krabs. Put a bit of singe to your voice. I'll give it a try. I do need to get more water. So I might go, after I catch up on the chat, I might go to standby real quick, go grab some water and be right back. Not It's a Wonderful... Okay, someone else already made the joke before I did. No one can beat Clancy Brown. That's why he makes the big bucks. That's true. Flash is going down. No, Flash isn't going down. Heroes don't do that. Oh, shit. You already said that, too. Take it... You know what? I'm just not going to talk anymore, and I'm going to let y'all make all the jokes for me. Clancy Brown voices someone in all the shows I like. SpongeBob, Justice League Unlimited, Earth's Mightiest Hero. Yeah, he's all over the place. Hey, Mattie, I watched Masters of the Universe Revelation. I thought it was pretty good. Hell yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that show. I honestly don't know what people are upset about with it, other than... like, just the whole, like, oh no, there's a strong female lead, and a YouTuber told me that I should be against it, for those reasons. Like, that's, like, because the show itself is actually just phenomenal. So, like, I don't get it. I really don't. Batman was delighted at something. Big shocker, ain't it? Still better Mr. Krabs than mine. Fair enough. Batman probably hates all the Batman movies. True. You gotta grit your teeth and growl your voice. The way I get into my Clancy Brown voice is by just saying Connor in an annoyed and tired way. Batman hates Batman. Also true. I'm gonna go to standby real quick and go fill up my water. I will be right back. I'm back. Hello, I'm here again. I need to repaint my nails. I painted them red and blue because I did the Harley video on Monday. I think that's scheduled to come out early next month. I think maybe the 5th was the date. And I got if y'all know Thought Slime, I have them locked down for a guest appearance in it. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. But like the red nail polish is like just really just like chips off real quick, whereas the blue is just like all still here, and like it's weird because it's from the same brand, so like you would think that they would be of the same quality, but I suppose they're not for some reason. Let's see. Bat family loves Charles Dickens. Probably true. Can't believe Mattie literally used the same joke I did. Well, you know, it's what happens when I watch too much Batman the Animated Series. Hey Mattie, made it. Sorry I missed the last few streams. Been pretty busy. Hey David, that's okay. It's you know, stuff always happens. I had to miss a few streams myself for being busy. So it is what it is. But we're gonna hop into chapter 8 now. Oh, my light's falling over. I got some new books in the mail today. For those of you who are on Discord, you've probably seen that I'm trying to like turn my my floppy comic collection into trades. So I've been looking on eBay for like pretty cheap trade collections and stuff. So that I can start like trying to get rid of the floppies and sell them to comic shops here in town before getting out and moving in a couple months. And so today I got Marvel's Secret War by Brian Michael Bendis and Azrael Fallen Angel by Denny O'Neil and Joe Quesada. The majority of my comics collection is just stuff that like friends and old roommates and stuff has like kind of left behind over the years, and we're like, here Mattie, have these. And so like I just have all of these comics in boxes that like I never pull out to read, and it's so much easier for me if they're on my shelf to do it. So I'm trying to be more you know, reading my comics than anything. Brian Michael Bendis, yeah, I know a lot of people don't like him, and he definitely makes like some kind of moves here and there that are like, that's kind of weird. But I was reading his the Brian Michael Bendis, as in the writer Brian. But yeah, no, I was reading his Superman run as that was coming out, and it was a lot of fun. And I just found out that apparently Secret War, the Secret War book that he wrote, is the first appearance of Daisy Johnson, Chloe Bennett's character from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's pretty neat. That means that maybe I should hold on to at least that comic to you know, sell later if it goes up in price. Nails, 2 coats, and 10. You know what? That might be it. I don't think I did 2 coats on the red. I did do 2 coats on the blue, but I don't think I did on the red. Now that you're mentioning it, that might explain it. No, Bobby, you're full gay. Yeah, not one of his finer moments though. Like when did that happen? Because I feel like the societal context of whatever year that came out might be important in like judging it. I think Brian Michael Bendis has a 2015. Okay, so maybe not the greatest. But yeah, Brian Michael Bendis does have a desire to really like do a lot more representation in comics and shit like that. And a lot of the time, since it is, you know, a white dude doing it, it can get kind of clunky. But like I feel like he's trying to do good, whether or not the end product is clunky or not. So like I respect him for that on those grounds. Like if I remember correctly, he's responsible for like Miles Morales and I think Riri Williams and Naomi more recently for DC. So like, which like if I think his kids are like I if I remember correctly, yeah, okay. Yeah. So he's like got an interracial family and everything, and so like oh, those aren't his kids. But if I remember correctly, like I've seen him talk about having, yeah, okay, here they are. Here's his children. He's got an interracial family and has like very much been about like trying to make sure that they're able to see themselves in comics, and if he's got to be the one to, you know, be like, hey, I'm gonna create characters for my kids to relate to, then, you know, power to him. Like he definitely does clunky shit. I will not deny that at all. But like I think he does more good than bad, personally. But where were we? Chapter 8. I feel like Danny or Wowie's about to clip that and send it to Rock or something. Oh, Jesus. Discord shit. The Flash had visited Metropolis many times before, but he had never seen it quite like this. Every building in the city was dark and dead-looking. The streetlights had all been deprived of life as well. Even Metropolis's bridges looked like the stiffened corpses of colossal insects. There were only two sources of light: the ghostly glow of the moon and the stabbing brilliance of automobile headlights reflected in store windows and the metal bodies of other cars. The Flash had never seen so many cars. The streets were choked with them, their drivers striving desperately to get somewhere despite the loss of power to the traffic control grid. An occasional motorist was still honking his horn out of frustration, though most people seemed to have accepted their fates. In fact, some had abandoned their vehicles altogether. He was weaving among them, headed for the heart of Metropolis to see what emergencies he could find, when he heard a disturbing report on a car radio. As quickly as he was moving, it wasn't easy for him to catch more than a few words, but he overheard enough to know what the problem was and where to find it. Changing direction so quickly that he melted the asphalt beneath his feet, he sped toward a commuter railway hub just north of downtown. When the Flash got there, he saw that the radio report had been right on the money. Unfortunately, skidding to a halt, he surveyed the damage. Oh, unfortunately was the end of a sentence. Whoopsie. Had been right on the money, unfortunately. Skidding to a halt, he surveyed the damage. Nasty, he thought with a shudder. With the city's Luther-induced power outage plunging rail lines into confusion, two big commuter trains had collided head-on. Luckily, they seemed to have stopped in time to avoid destroying each other. However, both head cars had been damaged and derailed, and on both sides of the darkened tracks, armies of passengers were being treated for their injuries by a mere handful of paramedics. Approaching one of them, the Flash said, "I'm here to help. What can I do?" I didn't even read it in his voice. When will y'all start the You Choose Justice League series? So 9 times out of 10, whenever we choose a book, I come up with 4 selections that I then put into a poll on Twitter, and people choose from there. More recently, though, I've been trying to do stuff that's specifically in like the Kindle store, and like towards the concurrent with while the DCAU was on air, and so we've just been kind of going through the Justice League books. But like a lot of those capstone books are in the Kindle store and everything. So I might be willing to try to goof around with some of those soon. I did do one of them with Ewan from What Culture for a 24-hour live stream last year. So if you're interested in that, that's on the channel. But I do not know specifically when like there's no real roadmap for this. It's just kind of up to the whim. Rock sitting in the snipers as we speak. But no, I agree, honestly. Bendis is easy to meme on, but he always means well at the very least, even if some of his bigger mistakes can be massively headache-inducing. Yeah, I mean, like, at what point do we stop blaming Bendis and be like, hey, Marvel's got an editorial board. Maybe they should have, like, told him to do it better. What's the point of a choose-your-own-adventure book if they already choose the Justice League for you? I mean, but they don't choose the rest of the adventure for you. You can choose that yourself. But yeah, that could be a fun thing to do on here. Kind of get the chat involved. Okay, really enjoy this content. Hope you guys start the capstone books soon. Yeah, I'll definitely put it into consideration. I do want to at least try to get through all of these Justice League books because I've been having a lot of fun getting through these. I've had some of these on my shelf since like childhood, and have always been interested in them, but never like took the time to read them. So getting to go through them on stream has been a blast. Who else can I call Brian Michael Bingus? You could call Danny Brian Michael Bingus. I get the impression that people get pissed off about Bendis a lot, and I don't get why. I just think it's the clunkiness of some of his writing. He does also like get incredibly wordy at times, and like it'll cover the art and shit, and it's just like, man, why even have an artist at this point? But you know, I've never like had a vitriolic issue with the guy myself. Like I understand the critiques, but I still more than dislike, I've liked the work that I've read. The paramedic, a woman with long red hair tied into a ponytail, didn't seem surprised to see a costumed hero. But then, this was Metropolis. She looked around at all the crash victims and heaved a sigh. Some of these people need to be treated in a hospital, but traffic's backed up so badly we can't get our ambulances through. Say no more, the Flash told her. I'm your man. The paramedic didn't look any happier for his announcement. You don't understand. I'm talking about a lot of people, dozens of them. Obviously, she didn't know him very well. Just tell me where to take them and leave the rest to me. Burdened as she was, she smiled. Okay, let's start with Billy. Billy was a 10-year-old with a blonde crew cut and big blue eyes. His head was bandaged and his arm had been placed in a sling. The paramedic told the Flash where the boy needed to go. It's the closest hospital in the city, but it's still a mile and a half through the worst traffic jam in history. Give me 30 seconds, he said. The woman looked at him in disbelief. Maybe less, he told her, if I get a tailwind. Then he took off. Halfway there, he looked down at Billy. The kid had to be in pain, but he wasn't complaining about it. Poor kid, the Flash thought. Maybe he had been on his way to see his grandparents, or a ball game, or the circus, and because of Luthor, he was on his way to an emergency room instead. It didn't seem fair. On the other hand, these things had a way of balancing themselves out, and the next time the Flash caught sight of Luthor and the Injustice Gang, he intended to do his share of the balancing. Leaning down until his mouth was next to the boy's ear, the speedster said, Next stop, a place where they'll take good care of you, and thanks for riding the Flash Express! Then he skidded to a stop in front of Metropolis General, turned the boy over to a waiting team of physicians, and motored back to the scene of the wreck. Alright, real quick. We've got Billy's a new character. And we've got Metropolis General Hospital. Oh, that's hospita, semicolon, hospital. There we go. And Billy is 10 years old. Let's see. That's the fun thing about being a big name in the comic book world. The editors are all afraid to stand up to them. Damn. Yeah, I could see that being the case. Oh, I didn't mean to grab that. No, get out of here. You're covering the chat. Get out. Go away. I accidentally clicked like a pop out on someone's name, and now it wants to just cover the chat. What if I... Oh my god. Why won't it just leave? Why can't I get these pop outs to ever leave? Oh my... Oh, hold on. There's an X on it. But it's acting like I'm actively trying to drag it. There it goes. Okay. I keep saying that Bendis would be much better off as a TV scriptwriter than a comic book writer. His style just fits that medium way better. I could see that. That would make a lot of sense to me. As someone that used to be a Brian Michael Bendis fan, I could get into why I don't like his writing, but I feel this isn't the place for that. That's fair. Is she mistaking the Flash for Green Lantern or something? Everyone mistakes everyone for the Green Lantern. Why did the author feel the need to list every single possibility for why Billy was there? Feels like padding. I don't know, just to kind of get you like into the headspace of Flash, I guess. Luthor had given everyone an assignment. Copperhead's was to check out the Justice League's meeting chamber. According to Luthor, the walls in the room had movable panels with concealed storage places behind them. Moreover, he knew what to do to make the panels move aside. What a waste of talent, Copperhead thought. After all, he could contort his body to get into places other people couldn't. That was how he had earned a reputation as one of the world's most feared and respected thieves. It was what set him apart from the crowd. But anyone could have searched the League's meeting room, even big, clumsy Grundy. Surely there was some place more challenging in the Watchtower. Some place that required a little crawling and twisting. He was still thinking such thoughts as he entered the room and got a look at the big round table that dominated it. It made him want to laugh. Who did these Justice Leaguers think they were? King Arthur? Could they have been any more pretentious? And what did they talk about around their table anyway? Which criminals they had put away? Once the Injustice Gang found the neutralizer, it would be the League that got put away for good. As Copperhead moved around the table and approached the walls with the secret panels, he made sure to keep an eye out for the Flash. He didn't know what had made the speedster stay behind while the rest of the League rushed off to Metropolis, but he knew from experience not to underestimate the guy. After all, Copperhead prided himself on his quickness, but the Flash had him beat in that department, hands down. Stopping in front of the wall opposite the entrance, Copperhead recalled Luthor's instructions. Then he placed his hand on the metal surface just where it needed to be and applied some pressure. Instantly, the section of wall under his hand slid away, revealing a compartment about 6 feet high and about 3 feet wide. But it was empty. Copperhead couldn't even find any dust inside it. Of course, there were 3 other hidden storage spaces. Maybe he would have better luck with one of them. He was about to find out when he heard something behind him, the hiss of a door sliding open. "Oh, no, you don't," came a voice, one that was strong and yet undeniably feminine, and that was not the kind of vibe I gave the voice at all. "Oh, no, you don't." I don't know. How do I do a strong feminine voice? I'll figure it out. Copperhead twisted around just in time to see a powerful red, gold, and blue figure hurtling toward him, her long black hair streaming back from her starred tiara. Wonder Woman? He thought. Where in blazes had she come from? Luckily for Copperhead, he was used to heroes trying to flatten him. At the last possible moment, he slithered out of harm's way, allowing the Amazon to miss him by 2 or 3 inches. It's me, your girl Green Lantern. True, you did draw yourself as Green Lantern. One day I will own a home with bookcases that move to hide things. Honestly, that's the fucking goal. Like secret passages and computer control panels. I thought Mattie said Luther gave everyone in the Sidemen. A la Amazing Friends style. They're about to find Flash's hidden stash of porno mags. Oh no! Now it's not a secret anymore. Sassy Greek woman voice. You just put some Windex on it, right? Put Windex on the voice. Anybody else a fan of mid-2000s hit comedy My Big Fat Greek Wedding? God, it's been so long since I've watched that movie, but like just the Windex part has always stuck in my head. Unfortunately, she didn't allow her momentum to send her crashing into the wall. Before she reached it, she swerved and swung back to face him. "Wait a minute," said Copperhead. "You're not supposed to be here." Luther had assured them that they would have the run of the watchtower. He had promised them that the League would trip over each other getting down to Metropolis as soon as they heard the bad news. I guess he was wrong, thought Copperhead. And who paid for his mistakes? Not Luther himself, of course. Copperhead paid for them. But that didn't mean he was going to throw his hands up and surrender. Wonder Woman could be defeated like anyone else, despite her great strength and agility. And he was just the guy to do it. "Funny," said the Amazon, her blue eyes glinting. "I thought it was you who wasn't supposed to be here." And she came at him with renewed determination. But there was more to Copperhead's game than an ability to slither out of danger. He had some pretty formidable weapons of his own. His tail, for instance. Though it wasn't actually part of him, it responded to his body language. In this case, latching onto Wonder Woman's ankle as she went by. Using her momentum, Copperhead swung her about and sent her crashing into a control panel with a satisfying thunk. Then, before she could recover, he leapt on her and wrapped himself around her. Taking advantage of his exquisitely trained body, Copperhead began to squeeze the breath out of the Amazon, and along with it, her life. He wasn't too worried about her getting away either. Once he had a victim in his grasp, she stayed there. "You're mine," Copperhead rasped. That was when Wonder Woman did the impossible. She slipped free of her adversary's death grip just as he had slipped free of others' grip in the past. It felt as if she had softened her bones somehow. Damn, y'all gotta hate it when a motherfucker got some soft bones. What is with this book has been like kind of like into describing ladies' bones. And like I know that like, you know, obviously Jean's just doing the shape-shifting thing here, but like we had that scientist with the tiny bones earlier, and now we got Wonder Woman with the soft bones. Why doesn't Jean just pretend to be Luthor? Because then the book would be over. Someone would calm Luthor or something, and then it'd be a problem. Imagine if the inner monologue of Copperhead saying Wendy isn't that OP was suddenly gets punched out by Jean or Diana. True. Let's see. She slipped free of her adversaries. Softened bones. If only for a fraction of a second. Copperhead hadn't known she could do that. Luthor hadn't said a word about it in all their briefings. He was still wondering about Wonder Woman's miraculous escape when she reached for the lasso on her hip and sent it uncoiling in his direction, so smoothly and so accurately it almost seemed a part of her. Copperhead leapt, confident that he would elude the lasso and be in good position to strike back, but to his chagrin, the golden rope seemed to have a mind of its own, pursuing him like a living thing. Before he knew it, the lasso had wrapped itself around his legs and clamped them together like a vice. It left only his arms and tail free, putting him at a huge disadvantage, especially against so tough an opponent. Then Wonder Woman began to reel him in like a prize fish. It was humiliating, and Copperhead didn't like being humiliated. He didn't get it. He had never seen the Amazon fight the way she was fighting now. There was definitely something different about her. But he didn't have time to figure out what it was. He had to get out of there and let the others know that what he knew. That the Flash wasn't the only hero who had stayed up there in the watchtower. Using a trick he had learned a long time ago, Copperhead twisted his legs at the ankles suddenly and created a little slack in Wonder Woman's lasso. Then he capitalized on the bit of extra room by wriggling free, just before the Amazon could get her hands on him. "Adios," he told her, pretending a bravado he didn't feel. Then he darted out of the meeting room and sped down the corridor, itching to tell Luthor how badly he had miscalculated. Hawkgirl saw the angry red blaze from afar, about the same time Wonder Woman did. It was hard to miss, considering it was the only significant patch of light in that part of the city. The closer they got, the more Hawkgirl's jaw tightened. It wasn't a warehouse or an office structure that was on fire. It was a residential building, and not all of its residents had escaped. She knew that because they were standing on the roof, pinned in on all sides by flames and black braids of rising smoke, calling out for help with hoarse, desperate voices. There were probably 20 of them, from little children to the elderly, and with the way the fire was climbing the sides of the building, there was no way Hawkgirl and her teammate could save them two at a time. Using her Justice League comm device, she communicated the observation to Wonder Woman. "I agree," replied the Amazon, who was riding the wind just above her. "We've got to come up with another approach." But what could they do? Hawkgirl looked around at the surrounding buildings and the streets below them, frantic for some kind of inspiration. And just like that, she found it. "Wonder Woman," she said, "follow me. I've got an idea." And she swooped toward a building a couple of blocks away. Hawkgirl's teammate didn't question her. She just put her hands out and veered after her. The Winged Avenger hoped that Wonder Woman's faith in her was justified. After all, she had never tried anything like this before, either on Earth or on Thanagar. Stopping in front of the building, she surveyed the blue tarpaulin? Heavy-duty waterproof cloth, originally of tarred canvas. Wouldn't that just be tarp? A tarp? I don't... Jean, gonna turn my bones off tonight for some blob action. Misuse of before he knew it, describing him knowing it. People misuse that all the time. It drives me batty. Ride the wind. Where was I? I was confused about this version of tarp. There it is. The Winged Avenger is oddly capitalized. Yeah, they do that with the nicknames sometimes. Stopping in front of the building, she surveyed the blue tarp draped across the front of it, no doubt to protect passerby from falling debris while the structure was under renovation. Hawkgirl had a different purpose in mind for it. She only hoped that it was strong enough to do the job. Pouncing on one of the two topmost corners of the tarp, she ripped it free of its moorings. A moment later, she saw Wonder Woman follow her lead and do the same. Then Hawkgirl led the way back toward the burning tenement, the tarp flapping ferociously in the wind as it hung between the Winged Woman and the Amazon. Darting in among the twisting plumes of smoke, the Thanagarian flew to the far end of the terrified crowd. Then she pulled her end of the tarp down to the roof. "Get on!" she cried out over the wind and roar of the flames. "Children first!" Remarkably willing to cooperate despite the danger, the trapped residents ushered the children onto the center of the reinforced plastic sheet. There were about a dozen of them, their eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. "Hang on!" Hawkgirl called out, taking a corner of the tarp in each hand. Then, With a glance at Wonder Woman to make sure they were in sync, she beat her wings as hard as she could. The strain on her shoulders was tremendous, and at first, nothing happened. "Come on," she grunted. Finally, the tarp lifted off the ground, along with its precious burden of humanity. The children were scared, but they didn't make a sound. Or maybe Hawkgirl just couldn't hear over the wind and the shouting of the adults. The winged woman could feel her arms pulling out of their sockets, but she wasn't going to let go no matter what. Moving sideways, she and Wonder Woman made sure their living cargo cleared the roof. Then they descended and set it down on the street below. It felt wonderful to be relieved of the children's weight, but it felt even more wonderful to see them scamper to the far sidewalk where they would be safe for the moment. Then Hawkgirl got a new grip on the tarp, made eye contact with Wonder Woman, and rose into the air to go back for the adults. Oh, and that's the end of Chapter 8. Right before we hit the 2-hour mark. Well, it took us an hour a chapter today. Besides, I thought Captain America was the Winged Avenger. But, I actually wonder, is that like a Winged Avenger? Oh, was it a reference to a 60s TV show? Well, maybe they were just trying to be silly. Maybe it was just a reference to that thing. That would make sense. Ooh, well, with that said, now that we've got caught up on the book, whose car alarm's going off? Not mine, I don't think. Hopefully not. But now that we're caught up on the book, I do gotta bounce. I gotta do some errands today. We gotta go pick up some stuff for Sissy. And I think there was something else that we gotta do. I don't remember off the top of my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with y'all, chit-chatting and all that. Having a blast, having a fun time. But responsibility knocks. So thank you for being here. I love y'all, and I'll see you next week. Ka-chow.